Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys a look at how I'm using my 2025 A5 Take a Note and how it's been going so far. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so 2025 was the first time I tried a journal from Take a Note. They don't have a lot of different options, but this one I really liked, so I'm gonna flip to like in the future so you can see. So this has a week on 2 pages, and that's pretty much the bulk of the book. There's a few things in the front that I will share with you, and then there's just like 2 blank spreads in the back, so not a lot of notes pages. But for this, you have your horizontal weekly, and then you have a vertical half of an A5 for each day. So one of the things that I discovered with this journal that I am obsessed with is this paper is just so dreamy. So this is Tomoe River paper, but for whatever reason, it's just better than other journals that are. I don't know if it's that it's not the Sanzen kind. I don't know. I'm not a super expert on the journaling, on the paper, but I know that I just enjoy the writing experience in here way more than in my Hobonichi Cousin, especially with fountain pens. So that's just something to keep in mind, and one of the reasons why I'm loving this journal. So I started with this journal. Oh, before I get into it, I want to say this also has this like lay flat binding, which is a little weird looking, but it gives the ability to open to any page and it completely lays flat without any like bending of the spine or anything like you need to do with some other journals. So I have added tabs on here from the Coffee Monster Co. and I use these little metal Midori clips to mark my current month and week. And then I'm just going to show you guys kind of how this is coming together. So to start, you have kind of this calendar. I just marked my paydays. I don't really use this at all, but it's here. Then I have, this is my exercise tracker. I do use this. I really love how this lays out like 2 rows. So I have my steps and then certain like activities, and I just do a color dot per day. And I tend to update this every couple of days, and I use my Apple Watch data to kind of fill it in so I don't have to remember. Okay, then it has these pages that are similar to the Hobonichi Cousin. And my plan for this journal was to be a functional planner. So what I have in these bottom portions are these like tasks that I only do once in a while, about like once a year. And some of them are a couple times a year, but I put them on the month that I hope to do them. And then when I do them, I write the date in that I actually completed it. You can see I've been very behind on my deep cleaning, but I'm hoping to catch up soon. I feel like I'm always behind, and I kind of expect that. This is kind of like my ideal. For this, I wasn't entirely sure what to do. I had originally been using it as a index because I was using this for like notes and things, and I'll get to that when I get to the weekly spreads. But it doesn't seem to work for that anymore, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this. I think I might continue that just to finish this page, and then in July start something different, maybe like a memory a day or something like that. Then it goes into the monthlies, and so like I said, this is my functional planner. So I am setting these up. I'm using Coffee Monster Co. mostly, and I have my task list for these are my like chores around the house I want to accomplish at some point during the month. Like I said, just on those other spreads, what I do is I put the date that I complete something, I write it in there. And then this also serves as a when was the last time that I did something. I fill these in with kind of my appointments and different things that I have to do, my schedule for work when I don't have work. Travel is on here. And then there's this extra box on the right, and I use this to put the kit that I'm going to use for my Project Life spread. And this is really helpful information to have because when I'm just living life and planning, it's just keeping that in the front of my mind because sometimes I'm going to want to collect specific photos or stories that go with the theme. Here's February, so I had some travel in here. So I'm always doing that very bottom row is going to be my work schedule. So it has like a gray highlighter, and I'm using the mild liners for most of this if I'm not working. So, and then I'll write why, like if it's I took a day off or there's no work or whatever, I have a past day. And then the row above that is travel. So if I'm not home, I'm going to put where I am. And then above that is where I put meetings and appointments. And I also have like the stickers for holidays. Here's March. I wasn't using this a ton, but I'm trying to use it a little bit more. Going into April, I added just a little bit more, trying to make it a little more lived in feeling. And then I added some like big goals up here at the top. And then this is how May looks. When you're seeing this, it's going to be mid-May, but I'm filming this before I leave on vacation. So I haven't really lived in May yet, but I do have a lot of tasks to catch up on when I get home. You can see this list is getting longer because as I have annual tasks that don't get done, I add them and carry them forward. So hopefully I'm going to be able to, after traveling, I'm going to have a few quieter months, focus in on some of these tasks around the house. Okay, so June is set up a little, and then I haven't set up the rest of the months yet at all. And then let's move into the weekly pages. Oh, so the monthlies do go through March of 2026, but I don't need these ones. So I did do a pen test in here. So if you want to see kind of, it's just, there's like no ghosting or bleed. There's a little bit just like how you normally expect with Tomoe River paper, but it's better than the Hobonichi Cousin if you've used those before. Okay, so now going into my weekly. So I have continued doing this part the same, where I am using this where I have my meals and I have my appointments. So it's kind of like a week at a glance. And then I have like my tasks. So I was kind of doing like a daily to-do list at the top and some tracking for the week and just filling in like other random notes and things that just kind of happened and other task lists. So I had like vlog ideas here because I was going to film a vlog, and I was adding stuff, trying to make it cute because it just, if it's not cute, I don't want to use it. I don't want to look at it. So I was trying to like decorate it a little bit. And then here you can see I was doing like more weekly planning. And then on days that I didn't need a daily task list, I was using it for like other stuff. So here's like a shopping list. And this was kind of working for a while, but it wasn't great. You can see I need like a daily task list. It's usually like 3 or 4 days a week that I do use one. I don't use it when I'm going to the office, but I do tend to use it when I'm at home. And so I was trying to kind of do the daily tasks across the top, and across the bottom here was like other lists I needed. So I had like a list of photos I need to do for my Instagram account. I had like, these are just like things, crafts I wanted to complete on the weekend. These were some stories for doing my recap for March 2021. So just like a bunch of like planning that I needed. And like this one kind of looks okay. And then here you can see I was trying to have like more fun with it, but I still have a lot of blank spaces, and a lot of it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't serving me the way I wanted it to. I feel like when I was doing these random notes, the only way to really make that work for me is to kind of make it messy. And doing that made me not like my planner, and it made it not pretty. So I continued doing that for a few months. I think I did it through March. So I'll just flip through these. You can kind of see just like random notes when I have them, my task list across the top, my weekly plan stuff in the front of the week, usually on Monday, which is kind of annoying to me because Monday I almost always need a task list. And so it would be nice if it was like Tuesday because I don't need task lists, but that is just how it is. Then I went on a trip in February. So I wasn't planning, but I was doing like some things I needed to check off. And then I have a few weeks that I didn't touch this because I didn't take it with me while I was traveling. And my plan was kind of probably to come back and use these pages for like a tailor ranked or something, but I will probably still do something like that. And then again, I had some empty spots, so I'm just kind of going back and using them as needed and then getting back into my weekly planning. But this is like when I was really struggling because I was just not liking the way this journal looked. Like I said, I enjoy writing in here so much. It's really just an enjoyable experience, and I felt like it was wasted. So I like kind of doubled down and tried to really make it pretty, use some stickers from the washi the washi tape shop from, this is some washi tape from Once More with Love. Adding in some lists down here, my meal plan, some tracking. Again, just like trying to make it pretty. You can see I'm using some fountain pens in here now. And it wasn't working. So what I then decided was that I was gonna fill all of the spaces. So like if I didn't have a task list for this day, I added in something cut out of my daily calendar, and like I kind of liked it, but it still wasn't good enough. So what I decided to do was do some more like memory keeping in here. And I do this in my Hobonichi Cousin. So just to give you an idea, in my Hobonichi Cousin, I do kind of a recap for my weekly spread, and I've evolved in here too, which I've shared that in my flip throughs of my Hobonichi Cousin. So if you want to see more of that, check out some of those videos. But essentially here I was doing kind of a recap of what happened during the day, and I use this as a reference for if I'm going back to fill in journaling pages or if I'm working on some scrapbooking, especially for Project Life. So I do want to do that, and I want to do it pretty timely. But so what was happening was I was getting kind of burned out of doing that. So back in here, I've been doing it like this for years, and it was kind of getting tedious, and I do a lot of the same things over and over again. So I wanted to switch it up, which I did, and I shared more about that in my Hobonichi Cousin flip throughs. But I decided that I wanted to kind of do it and try putting it in here with the intention of maybe not doing the Hobonichi Cousin next year, and using this and kind of using the bottom half to memory keep what happened the day, and just kind of gloss over the things that were every day that happen all the time, and just kind of write down the highlights, and also add some notes in here. So I had like a book recommendation, an ink recommendation, my daughter's birthday list, and then add in like photos and ephemera and stuff when I need to fill some space. And I do like how that came out. And then here I added a photo and add a little bit more. I'm liking it, but again, like I have these task lists and stuff, which wasn't really working for me. And then I have this spread where it doesn't have this for beginning of the week, and I love it. I loved how this one came out. I used a fountain pen with some fountain pen ink. I had some fun here. I used my daily task list at the top. This day I didn't need one because I spent the day with my friends. So I just like created a large title and kind of let the photos flow up into it, and just had a lot of fun. And I really loved how this one came out. So then I moved into the next week with the intention of kind of continuing this on. And I didn't print any actual photos here because I didn't really have any, but I had some like screenshots and stuff. And I do include a lot of that in my Hobonichi Cousin, but having extra space to be able to put it was really great. And then I was doing like my task list and stuff in here and other things like I was doing before. And it just, I don't know, I don't like the way it looks. So as I continued on, I sort of decided that I'm going to do my daily task list in here, but I'm not going to put those other random lists and stuff. I'm going to put those in another notebook. And I do have another notebook, this one, which was for my overflow journaling. And I don't really share this one online, so I'm not going to, but essentially it was just like long form journaling, and I wasn't really using it as much as I needed, or just like not that much. Like it's April, towards the end of April, and I'm only this far into this journal. So I have a lot of space in here, and I realized, I could just use this for like random notes and stuff and just have it rather than putting them in here. And kind of my intention with having my notes in here in the first place was prior to 2025, I'm kind of like a sticky note person, and I will just have like sticky notes all over the place, and it's just wasting a lot of paper, and having them all over is just kind of cluttered. So just having one place that I write these things down, and then I can reference it later if I need it, but it can also be messy, just works for me. So I decided that that's what this journal would be. So it would not only be my long form journaling that overflows from my Hobonichi Cousin, but also just like random notes and things. And then in here, I would do my daily to-do list and also include those recaps and the kind of memory keeping aspect, which I really, really like. So then coming into a new week, I was struggling because I do need the meals. I don't need the tracking so much, but I need like a task list that's for the week, that are things that need to happen that week that don't necessarily need to happen on Monday. And then tracking. So what I decided, well, and the meal list. So what I decided to do was put it here and split the horizontal week here in half and use only like this column for my weekly stuff. So what I had previously had, like my meal over here and my appointments here, I just kind of shifted it over so it was all in a row, which it does seem to fit. It seems a little bit cramped, but I think that's me just kind of getting used to it. And then use this narrow column here for those other things. And then I really like how this one came out. I'm trying some more drawing. I'm adding in some ephemera, some photos, stickers, of course, and just kind of recapping my week. And then here's another one, again, with the photos and stickers and everything. And I feel like I'm really finding my flow. So I had task lists every day this week. I don't know that I will have that every day, but I think that when I don't have one, I'm going to do like here where the memory keeping just kind of comes up. And I also have that like here where I just added like a bigger title. Okay, so then, yeah, so I showed you this one. And then this is the last spread I have in here so far. I know when you're watching this, it is into May a little bit, but I don't plan to bring this with me while I'm traveling, so I probably won't do it for the weeks that I'm traveling. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. But for now, I'm really loving how this is going. And this is my plan to continue doing memory keeping in here in addition to my functional planning. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And my tentative plan is to do something like this in 2026 and move away from the Hobonichi cousin for the weekly spreads and do something different for a daily journal, but I will continue with a daily journal. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried the Take a Note, and if so, how you use it. And also, if you liked this video, if you want to see more videos of my flip through of this journal, let me know. If you want to see it monthly, I'm not sure if that would probably be a very short video, but maybe I could do like a quarterly one and just do a check-in with you guys and let you know kind of how it's going and share my spreads, because honestly, I'm really loving how these spreads are coming out right now. I don't know if they're going to evolve and stay the same, but I'll let you guys know in future videos. I also am sharing some images of these on my Instagram account, but I think so far, I think that this one might be my favorite. I just really like how my doodles came out on here, but I'm also really loving this. So I feel like it's a fun process. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.